Hey yo, we put free money where the mic is. He got it on lock like Rikers. Green rebates get you paid, so a lot of people like us. Money Talks Podcast, watch it on all your devices. Woo! Welcome to Money Talks Podcast. I am with a guest that I am very excited to chat with. We have been trying to make this happen for months. I'm like the annoying ex-girlfriend who's been in your DMs. Thank you for finally sitting down with me. Mike McCoy. Absolutely. How's MJ Biz been? And you can be honest. How has it been?
It's been great. It's always great to us. It's a show though, you know, it's a zoo here. You can walk 30 steps and it takes 30 minutes. I can't get anywhere without taking pictures. It's a great time though.
Yeah.
I feel like this year's been a little slower. There's a little less chaos here than there has been the last couple of years.
Okay.
Which is great for us because we get to navigate freely. You know?
Yeah. Do you get stopped a lot? Or are people like, oh my God, that's Mike McCoy Farms?
Yeah. I get mistaken for Chris Stapleton a lot too. So especially with Cowboy Christmas right next door.
Oh,
you know, people think I'm in the wrong spot every time.
So how did you get your start, man? I want to know like how your involvement with cannabis really began.
Sure, man. You know, like the same as most guys, we were selling packs out the back door, you know, from Idaho, from Oregon, and once it became medically legal, we had our clients say, hey, look, come out here and build some grows and run some shops for us. And so we did, right? The day that became, we jumped ship and moved to Oregon and said, hey, look, we're going to set up shop here, start teaching people how to grow like commercially, as opposed to this basement style stuff. Yeah, it was a good long ride though. It's been fun.
Yeah, I bet. So, and what did you? Because you played sports. You like excelled in athletics before cannabis, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I played football for in Idaho, and then a little bit of time with the Raiders, but you know I got cut pretty quick.
Hey man, that's more than .0001. It's more than 99% of people could say.
Yeah, so. It's good because you're leading a healthy lifestyle. It teaches you early to be healthy, and to have like some composure and accountability, a lot of things that you need to be a farmer.
Right, exactly. And you have a unique background getting into farming because you were growing vegetables before you were growing cannabis.
Yeah. Right? We grew up in the Salinas Valley in California, Monterey County, where we're growing lettuce and broccoli and cabbage and cauliflower on a really big scale, like 4,000 acres. You know, so when we got into cannabis, a lot of these guys were buying bottled newts from the store, and they're spending hundreds of dollars for a gallon of concentrate. When we try to tell people, like, just go direct to the manufacturer, buy the bags for like $10 a bag, and they'll send you a pallet for the same price you're buying a bottle.
That's insane, and no one knew that.
And back then no one knew that. You know, if they did, they weren't in cannabis.
Got it. Are you the only person you know who went from cultivating vegetables to cannabis?
You know, now I know a few of them, but when we started. No, we were the first people that most people knew. They're like, oh, this is Real McCoy Farms was an ag farm, and now we're a cannabis farm. And back then there was nobody that did that transition because they didn't. Most farmers are lean towards the conservative side, and they weren't a big supporter of cannabis, right? They don't want us taking their water, you know.
Yeah.
But they didn't know. They just didn't have the education, right? They didn't know what they were talking about.
Yeah.
And it was a big deal for a lot of us. We were showing them how to save money, how to be efficient. Wow. Yeah.
So did you empower a lot of growers? Were a lot of growers like, I got to talk? Did the word spread like wildfire? Like, this is a guy you got to talk to?
Absolutely, man. You know, that's what rose us to the top pretty quickly was because we were teaching people how to be efficient and effective and save money. And the grocery stores didn't like us because we were, you know what I mean? Like, we were starting the whole wholesale thing and just making sure that they were getting their product from the supplier direct because you could. And it was much more affordable and way easier. You don't got to go to the grocery store every week to go buy your shit.
Yeah.
You know, just drop ship it to your house.
Right. And you having the athletic background, do you find it interesting, like how many like ex-athletes are like cannabis advocates now?
You know, it was a cool thing when it became legal, right? When you were getting musicians and now athletes specifically are jumping on board. I think that's great, man. Yeah. A lot of these guys have been under the radar for so long that they couldn't use cannabis in athletics, right? They were getting tested for it, and it was a bad deal. Yeah. And now they're finally coming off, like the NFL, like the NBA. They're kind of coming off it a little bit. They're allowing people to kind of, especially medical and CBDs out there. You know what I mean? Like, when those things happened, it was a big deal for them. Right. And now they can freely support us and have put their name on it.
Right.
That was a big deal.
No, it's amazing. I just saw Ricky Williams walking through, and I couldn't believe, like, one of my idols was just walking in the flesh, no bodyguards.
Yeah.
People
like
just
normal
waving.
dude.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all just normal dudes here.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, so when did you after leaving the Raiders, then you're cultivating vegetables, and then it becomes cannabis. When did when was that moment you felt like you truly arrived in the cannabis and you felt like you were a big player?
I think when, like, the guys at Cura and Select and had hired us in Oregon to kind of like consult for them and teach their growers how to grow and to be efficient and not to have dirty cannabis, right? I remember Nitin at a convention here a long time ago. They were talking about how do you remediate pesticides from distillate in cannabis, and he raised his hand. He said, "You hire someone who doesn't use pesticides in cannabis."
Oh wow!
Right, and they're like, "Well, who's that?" And he said, "Mike McCoy." Right, and so that plugged me in for a while, and that put us on the top when people realized, "Oh shit, you don't need to spray your weed with bad shit. You could just be a clean grower."
Yeah.
Right, and we all knew that, but those guys didn't know that. The guys with money didn't know that.
Right.
And that was a big game. That was a big change for us. Once we decided to make that jump from growing to more consulting, we realized that's when we finally made it.
Interesting. What's like a common mistake you see a lot of new growers make?
Man, not planning. Right? Like, you need to have a plan for this shit, man.
Yeah.
Like, these guys show up to work and they just go, "What are we doing today?" Like, no, man. Like, this needs to be planned out to the day for the next couple of years if you want to be efficient and effective. And that's it mostly. These guys are passionate, right? But they just don't plan well.
Got it. And when did you start using LEDs, and when did you really start upgrading your equipment? Because that's our business is all about, when people upgrade their equipment, we'll give you the rebates for it. When did that become when
the LEDs first came out, 8 years ago or so, right? We knew it was like a new phone. Like, we were like, let's just hold back a couple years. They're going to get through these first rounds of lights. They're going to revamp them, and they're going to be better. And once S-Tech came out with their light, and then the new lens technology, we were like, okay, now I feel like now it's time for us to be able to get into LEDs. Where these guys have made a couple advancements. The lights are now better. They're hot. Their drivers are better. They're a lot more efficient than they were when they first came out, right? And now that was probably 5 years ago, I think, when we finally made the switch to every farm that we're ever consulting for is doing LED, high efficiency stuff. So we're getting, and then when the rebates came out with the power company, it was a no-brainer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When did rebates first become when did the growers first get hip to rebates?
I feel like we heard about it when they were trying to get it passed, and that was probably 4 years ago, I think. But a lot of guys were just finding out about it last year or the year prior. They had no idea, right? And so then it takes the LED companies to go out there, do some soliciting, and mostly, let's just face it, the LEDs is the low-hanging fruit, right? Everyone needed to switch to LEDs to make the power bills work.
Right.
And when they realized they can get rebates for other things, well, that's when green rebates and all these other companies started coming, really becoming popular.
Right.
Yeah.
And what are the other what's the other equipment that people are getting rebates for?
dehues are a big one, right? LEDs and dehues are a big deal. Air conditioners, sometimes even some of your pumps, right? If you're doing some big flow stuff, things that are if we're loading up more dehues than they need, and they're not running all day, all night, the power companies are stoked on that, right? Because they want those things to take a break.
Right.
And so you get some really good rebates. I know we were getting Andens for almost free for a while back in Oregon, just because the power company was stoked to have them.
Yeah, crazy. And when you were playing at a high level of athletics, was cannabis usage
I've been using cannabis since I could remember, you know what I mean? Before I was driving, I was twisting them up.
But you were getting tested, so did you just have fake pee?
I had failed many tests. And I'm not going to say who it was, but I found one of my athletic trainers on the side one day. I was like, "Hey, buddy, I'm going to smoke no matter what, right? And you guys need me,
right?
So I'm just going to pee in the cup, and you just say yes, it passed."
Yeah.
And that's the way it worked for years for me. I didn't even care until I got a new person that was testing. You had to go buy the Wizinator and all these toys and all these tools that you had to put fake piss in and heaters, and it was like a mess, man. Yeah. just to be able to play, you know?
Yeah, and it's crazy because they're giving you painkillers that can ruin your life, you know?
Yeah, I remember I said I had a cough and they gave me codeine. I'm like, dog, I just want some cough syrup, you know?
Like NyQuil would be fine. Here's some drugs that rappers rap about. You know? So what's like the main thing that you've learned? Because, you know, your company has expanded a lot. Has it been tough to not trip over your own feet, or like how do you like stay sane when when your business is growing?
Man, I'm gonna
so
tell you
rapidly?
what, that beautiful lady right over there, she keeps me sane when the things get crazy.
Right.
But again, right, planning. Like these guys, if you have a good plan and you plan these things out months, years in advance, it's a lot easier to overcome obstacles, man.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. What's the biggest mistake you made when you were first coming up?
Oh, trusting people. No, I mean, but for real though, like just trusting everybody, like taking people, at their word. And I realized that that's not what it is, right? You gotta take everything to a grain of salt and just make sure you're double checking everybody before you listen to what they say. But dude, back then when nobody knew, like there wasn't social media. There was no way to share. Like Ivan and Jungle Boys weren't posting all the cool shit back then.
Right.
So nobody knew what to do. So you'd listen to someone and you're like, oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
And it was a complete fucking fail.
So a lot of people are full of shit?
Yeah, a lot of people are full of shit.
All right, I'm going to ask you a few trivia questions
Right
here.
on.
Or these are just rapid fire questions. Answer them as best you can.
Okay.
Yeah, number one, what's the dumbest purchase you've ever made?
Ooh. 30 pounds from Southern California.
I'm going to flip that. What's the smartest purchase you've ever made?
Okay, 30 pounds from Southern California.
Amazing. All right. If someone gives you $100K right now and you had to choose between investing it or traveling for a year, what do you choose?
I'm traveling, bud. Like, you only live once,
Where's your favorite place you've traveled?
Man, anywhere tropical. Anywhere tropical. My wife's from Saipan, so we like to go back there as often as possible.
Amazing. What's something that all rich people have in common?
They're full of shit. And they got money.
You can be full of shit when you have.
You can be. Fake it till you make it is what they say.
What's the lowest amount of money you'd go streaking in an NFL game for?
I mean, I would go bet on myself as a streaker. So, I don't even need money.
That could be, you could get $5 million.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. Would you rather have no money or no friends?
No money. Friends are a big deal. Like people that you trust and you love.
Absolutely. You seem like a good friend to have.
I am a great friend to have. I'll help you dig a hole. I'll help you make money. I'll help you do whatever you need to do.
You'll bury a body for someone.
Yeah, sure.
That's what I'm talking about. If someone that you've only known for a year asks you to borrow $2,000, what do you say?
No. I say, here's 500. Go see what you can do with that. Then we'll talk.
Start small.
Yeah.
Smart man. Whose face is on the $10 bill?
Shit, I don't even know, bro. Jackson.
Close. It's Hamilton.
Hamilton.
0 people have gotten that correct.
I haven't seen a $10 bill in years.
Yeah, I know. It's like extinct. Would you say rebates are sexy?
Absolutely.
Why?
I love rebates. Give me more.
What's the biggest rebate you've ever gotten?
Man, we got a $370,000 rebate from Green Rebates for an Oregon project we had beginning of last year. That was huge.
Oh my God.
And I think we're going to get a much larger one for this new project in Missouri.
Oh geez.
Like triple, quadruple that.
When you first got your big check with Green Rebates, were you like, "What's the catch?" Were you like, "How is this real?" Like, how'd you react?
Yeah, and the lighting companies kind of set me up. They told me what was going to happen, so I was like, okay, I expected a little bit, but it was a shock. I just had no idea that it would be that much.
Yeah.
And the power company was stoked to give it out.
Right. It's almost like it doesn't. I still can't even believe that this business exists.
I know it's amazing.
Last question I got for you: is there such thing as free money? Because there's a big debate on the internet. Does free money exist? Do you think free money?
The people my age are going to say no, right? Because we all work so hard for our money, and we continue to work hard for our money. Free money, if you're lucky, maybe.
Yeah. But
I'm not lucky.
Right.
So no free money for me.
Yeah. Well, Mike, thank you so much, Mike.
Yeah,
It's been a pleasure. I could talk
man.
to you for hours.
Absolutely, bro. We'll do it. I'll see you tonight, though.
Yeah, tonight at the MJ's.
Oh, yeah.
And the MJ's after party and the after party. And we'll see you. We'll be stumbling.
That's
in.
right.
All right, awesome, man. Well, thank you so much.
Man,
and I'm glad we can make this happen.